one. They're the last one. What does Trump keep repeating? We'll watch the speech in a second. He says, Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And then Israel has nukes. Israel has the Samson option. They have the option, Israel right now, this is part of their doctrine, where they say if anti-Semitism gets too strong, they can bomb the whole world.
Don't tell me. Do you really have a Samson option? Do you really have a Samson option fucking button on your soundboard?
What Israel's belief is. Iran is the only real threat there. And so many Iranians, like Kasan, this idiot, believes that it's about, oh no, free Iran. Marco Rubio is saying that.
Yeah, I think that, like, I mean, saying that, the thing is that saying that it's in Israel's best interest isn't an argument against it.
Rubio is saying, free the people of Iran. What does Mark Rubio, this Cuban-American guy, give a fuck about Iran?
Well, because he's the Secretary of State and he has to deal with it if they cause problems. Like, obviously. Marco Rubio 10 years ago was talking about Iran.
Pete Hegseth faking bench pressing the Secretary of War. What does he care about the free people of Iran?
Because it takes, well, what do you mean? Why would the Secretary of War care about this? It's simple. Because if the country is not trying to kill the people in his military, it makes his job easier, right? Like, if you can neutralize a foreign military that's causing you problems, then, yeah, obviously that's a benefit. Like, yeah, duh, of course. I don't know why, like, yeah, that's his job. Like, wouldn't you want to neutralize a military that has said that they want to destroy the country? Like, you're put in charge of the Department of War, and you're not going to try to get rid of the country that says death to the country that you're part of? Like, I don't even understand this logic at all. Like, obviously that's the case.
People in America aren't free. And now they care?
Of course they're free. People in America are absolutely free. This is the type of, again, this is the type of slop commentary that I see constantly. People in America aren't free. If you are trying to draw any sort of a parallel between the freedom, opportunity, and possibilities of what somebody can be in their life versus an Iranian and an American, you are being so delusional, I do not even know what to say. Like, these are people who, they get beaten for not wearing a headscarf. They can't play music in public, as far as I know. There's all kinds of crazy risks and fucking, they have a curfew. Like, it's insane. Like, how can you even possibly compare these two things as if there's any sort of equivalence at all? It's like, you have them literally, they're firing guns right now at people that are just speaking out their window. They're shooting up at apartment buildings, residential apartment buildings, for people yelling anti-regime slogans. This is nothing even remotely close to America. It's not even in the same universe.
About the sovereignty of Iranian citizens? Wake up, dum-dum! Free Iran! So easy to brainwash these people.
The only argument that Sneeko made in this is that it's in the best interest of Israel, which means that it's wrong. Like, that's the only actual argument that he's made in this entire video. There's no real, like, discussion beyond that. It's just Israel is bad, and because Israel is bad, then going after Iran is bad. I think that's very reductive. I don't know why that would happen. So Kasan responded to this. He said, who are you to say what's best for Iran? Insulting me and calling me a stupid... Oh! Here we go. It's another one. Well, let me finish this and then we'll look at the bombs. Been calling me a stupid idiot who's speaking out for his country and family who's been suffering in Iran for decades, and you make it about Israel? All Iranians wanted was peace and freedom, suffered for decades. The people of Iran are celebrating right now in Iran for a reason. What the fuck would you know about living there or what's best for Iranians? I've lost family in Iran to this tyrant regime, but you wouldn't understand, Sneeko. I'm not even going to insult you or go back and forth. By the way, I'm Iranian and I chose to speak up. Yes, exactly. I am so glad to see this. These are the same people saying it to Venezuelans as well. Yes, okay. Is there another one? Let me go back. I'll double check. Kason talked about it on his stream. Let me take a look at this and see it. Give me 1 second. Let me check this real quick before I get into this. Are there more bombs? Yeah, oh, here it is. It's one alert. Oh, this is a pretty small one. Okay, I'll just keep watching it. Oops, wrong one.
Are worshiping a set on. Let me explain to you what I've noticed about the internet and just everyone in general that have been against Iran, the Free Iran movement. I just want to say something to you guys, okay? All of you who are against this movement are worshiping essentially and defending a devil. A man who not only was murdering women every single day for not covering their faces and their heads. You guys know that, right?
He's a nutball.
You guys know that, right? This man would murder and kill women who would not cover their faces and their heads. Just one more time. This man would murder women who, if they left their house, had to cover their face, and their heads, or they would be killed. You guys are defending.
He's not perfect,
you guys.
guys
Are defending this person.
He's not perfect.
And you guys make
perfect.
it about America and Israel. Brother, if New Zealand went and freed Iran, we would all be praising New Zealand.
Exactly.
If Finland went and freed Iran, we would all say, God bless you, Finland. But you guys are making this about Israel and America, when all Iranians wanted was to be freed by this fucking lunatic maniac who would murder people for no reason. You guys do understand that, right? This, if you're Iranian, this has nothing to do with Israel and America. This has nothing to do, it just has everything to do with a fucking country that fell apart and became a dumb...
See, this is the difference when moral posturing and virtue signaling is oppositional to virtue. This is what happens.
Demonic
is you end up on the side of somebody who systematically kills their own people.
Government who would murder innocent people. There was 30,000 people, 20,000, 40,000, however much, who were protesting against this man, and he killed them.
We have Jay the Bard in chat. My uncle found out that a family friend in Iran who was 66 years old, who was just taking care of his mother, was shot in the head for going out past curfew. Yeah, that's what you're defending. That's what you're trying to say, oh no, it's Israel, 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 Israel.
You know what he did?
Jesus
I couldn't even talk to my family in Iran because he shut out the fucking internet and the phone lines. You couldn't even speak. I couldn't even speak to my family.
Yep.
I couldn't even speak to my family. This man was killing people and we can't even talk. We can't even speak.
They want to call you brainwashed. It's like laggy.
Religion. Nothing! Brother, this is literally bigger than just religion. This is a man, a sick fucking government who destroyed an incredible country.
They did.
And you guys sit there behind your keyboards and your phones and keep believing what all these fucking people are saying about whatever the Iranians right now are celebrating. Sure, maybe 10% of them fucking worship this fucking devil.
Yeah, sure,
majority of Iran are celebrating this fucking man's death for a reason. And you guys are making it about Israel and America, how... Yo, bro, do you guys understand what Iran... You guys don't even live there. You don't know. I have family there. I hear stories. I've been to Iran before. You guys don't even know. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Everyone just sits there and talks about whatever the thing they talk about and push some agenda.
Jesus Christ.
They're just pushing an agenda, bro.
This is really good.
They're pushing an agenda.
Holy shit.
That's all it is. It's
Thank God.
I don't even understand. I don't even understand why people do this.
I'll explain the reason why. The reason why is that there's a lot of people who have a reductive agenda that is anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-Western. and anti-capitalist. So anything that is against those forces, they support it categorically because it's like the enemy of my enemy. So even though these people might not necessarily support Iran ideologically, because if Iran is allied against a place that they don't like America or Israel, they will look past Iranians, like being killed in order to fulfill that goal. That's the reason why. That's it. Like Trump? Yeah, exactly. Like they hate Trump so much that they don't want to see Trump get a W. Even if Trump getting a W means that, a bunch of people aren't getting killed.
Missiles, the cruise missiles. I think that the U.S. and Israelis have been very effective in taking out the missile launchers and hunting down some of the mobile launchers. They still are able to get some of them off, but I think Israel has reported that that on Saturday 90 ballistic missiles were fired at it. Today just 20. So it is going down, and I'm hearing from CENTCOM officials that in fact they're seeing fewer and fewer in these waves. But again, these drones are going to are causing.
I mean, they're getting increasingly limp-dicked. It's pretty obvious.
A lot of
everybody can tell this.
They're the ones that have struck these hotels in Dubai and Bahrain and elsewhere, and they're going to be a problem for some time.
I bet they will be. Absolutely. You use this use case when Russia would consider joining Iran directly. Why would they do that? They can't even take over Ukraine. Like, that's really it. I mean, I don't know what we're even talking about here. Let's see if I can find the rest of these other posts, if there's anything that's new that's happened. But, oh my God, Israel boxed us into a war with Iran. Uh-oh, here we go.
Do you think Israel, forced the U.S.'s hand here, boxed the U.S. in on this?
Look, no one wants a nuclear war. No one wants a nuclear Israel, but we certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple. And that's what I say.
You need to just bro, like, you gotta, like, I mean, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Oh, no.
No.
Let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure. Okay?
At what point does the Nazi
Okay, he said Israel instead of Iran. Like, it's hard to say, right, guys? And let's go back. I'll pick up a few more of these here. Israel and Iran. Uh-oh, here we go. At this point, you'll be hearing nothing but propaganda spewing out of every white man's mouth, no matter who they are.
So wait a minute, let me get this straight. America and Israel attack Iran.
And Iran bombs Saudi
And
Arabia.
Iran's answer is to just attack everybody. Having been in a bar fight or two in my life, I'm pretty sure the worst thing you can do during a 2-on-1 beatdown is slap everyone else. Not every part of
they spurred down.
Oh my God.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, you!
Son of a bitch.
So wait a minute, let me get this straight.
And they're mad that he's calling this shit out. Well, why is he following up on everybody else? What even is this? And you get these people, again, remember what I said before about how these people, what they want to do is they want to create a racial and religious and ethnic coalition to oppose white people, Western values, and Christianity. I think this is exactly what I was saying, and you should be able to identify it. It's pretty obvious that's where it is right there. See, it's that they hate us, they do. They're actually racist, and you should point them out for exactly what they are. The incelification of Gen Z.
Let's just do this the easy way. Damn, I'm hungry.
Messed up what's going on, and Trump strikes on Iran are apparently leading to some very, very serious getbacks, okay? So there's been a lot of nonsense that Dubai's safe, Dubai's good, it's all good now. But it is not all good in the hood, okay? There are a lot of videos going around that are claiming to be footage, real, genuine footage of a drone strike on the US consulate in Dubai in the UAE. And they were saying that for several hours the consulate was on fire. I'm hearing reports that it might have been put out. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if there's going to be more drones. This is messed up, and the reason this might be happening, they might be running out of those anti-drone missiles, the air defense system. So look at it.
Legal. Another drone. Oh, leave from there. Leave from there.
This is no joke, people. This is no joke, okay? They're saying Iran striking. There's footage going around of very, very serious strikes. Now, there's rumors going around, okay? Can't be confirmed, but people saying the UAE is running out of interceptors. The US consulate just got hit. The situation is getting worse, not better. And if you're still in Dubai, you've got three options. Leave, find shelter, or drive north to Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Arman. I got to brush up on my Arabic. Al Kuwain or Sharjah. Don't let a paid Instagram reel be the reason you stayed. The people with real information left a week ago, and they wanted to say Dubai's protected, it's all good, but there's more footage coming out now to suggest that's not true. So it is very, very serious. Now, there's more footage of it on fire. It was burning for quite some time. People have been filming the aftermath of this drone strike, and it looks very, very serious and very scary indeed. These are American assets. Now, I was hearing rumors that actually they did have no injuries. The US consulate in Dubai had been evacuated prior to the drone attack, slamming into it, so there were no injuries. But people are saying we could see the UAE retaliate with Iran striking their sovereign territory. The UAE probably do need to slide and get back, because their tourism industry is completely destroyed.
Yeah, hey guys, good afternoon. We're following these reports out of Dubai that indicate an Iranian drone hit the US consulate in Dubai. We understand that the building and many of these surrounding buildings had been fully or at least partially evacuated. And again, these are just initial reports coming in. Fox's Jennifer Griffin also confirming that a hit did take place in this area. As we look at this story and the Gulf countries under threat, just in the past 24 hours, this is the second hit on a U.S. consulate or embassy in the Gulf. Remember, overnight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, 2 Iranian drones hit the compound. But that compound, again, also was evacuated beforehand. As this is taking place, it raises real questions about air defense systems around these areas. And I reviewed a couple videos online that are circulating, and it indicates this is an Iranian drone, a very similar sound to the same Shahed drones that the Iranians sold to the Russians in Ukraine. You could often see them in Ukraine when they would fly quite low, and it sounds almost like a loud lawnmower buzzing through the sky, and then ultimately there's an explosion. And again, a lot of different videos circulating from this area of Dubai showing that the area of the U.S. consulate in Dubai is on fire. There's black smoke rising from this part of the city. And so again, the threat from Iranian drones, and we talked about this last hour, the short-range threat will be much more difficult to reduce for the Israelis and the Americans after they go after these Iranian positions.
Here, the little things will kill you.
The world outside is no longer survivable. Each one of us has this voice in our heads saying, maybe.
I came all the way here with my wife.
We can't do this alone.
So this is serious, okay? There's plenty of footage of it on fire going around now. So I am seeing reports now that perhaps the fire's been put out. This is going around. Says this is the U.S. consulate in Dubai right now. Fire from the drone hit, fully extinguished. Our civil defense teams are very quick, flexing arm. Now there's been a lot of talk about Dubai safe. It's all good, but a lot of people are fleeing. A lot of people are hot-tailing it out of there. All right, and it is a little bit concerning. I'm not sure that everything we're hearing coming out of there is absolutely true. Ironically, right, a lot of the influencers that were claiming Dubai's super safe, they're fleeing and leaving, all right? And they're acting like, oh, it's so safe. We're fleeing. I'm getting the hell out of there because it's safe. It's safe to do so. This is a guy called Samuel Leeds. I think he has got like some kind of property investment course. I don't have any issue with him. Some people say he's a scammer. I'm not going to say that. I do actually think people that, you know, teaching financial literacy and selling courses and teaching people how to make money, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least not teaching people telling people how to gamble. But he is one of the most ridiculous clowns. So Dubai's safe. In fact, Dubai's even safer with drone attacks. He's fucked off. He's got out of there. He had a course in England he needed to teach, so he's got out of there. But it's still safe. Trust me. Will he go back?
You're trapped in Dubai. It's very simple. Drive 3 hours to Oman, and then when you're in Oman, go down to the Muscat airport, and there's literally planes waiting for you.
It's so safe. You've got to drive to Oman to even get out of there. So safe.
You can pay about £100,000, jump on a plane and take you straight to Heathrow.
It's so safe. You've got to drive 3 hours and pay $100 grand. $100 grand. It's that safe.
I don't know why everyone's not doing this.
I don't know why everyone's not doing this since it's so safe and I told you all to stay. I'm fucking off. It's a joke.
To be honest, it's not even dangerous in Dubai. There's more people being stabbed in England and being shot in America than getting hit with drones in Dubai. So the only reason we're going is because I've got business to take care of my private council. So stay in Dubai, there's unity. Just do this.
You stay. You fucking losers stay. I'm getting out of here because I just have business. The only reason I'm leaving is because of business. I actually was loving the drones. But you losers, all right? You drone bait. You guys stay. I'm out of here to teach my course. If it's so much safer in Dubai than in the UK, because you're going to get shot and stabbed, why didn't you fly out all your attendees to Dubai where it's safe? You can't. You can't because there's a drone attack, stopping the flights. Oh, there's a couple of flights here and there, yeah. Should have, so safe, fly them all out. These guys are a joke. So you might have seen me, I covered some of the stuff of Andrew Tate. He was dancing in his villa in Dubai saying it was all safe. He was never there. He's been in Romania the whole time. He hasn't even made it to Dubai. Pathetic grifter, they're calling him, saying this idiot wasn't even in Dubai when he was paid to push propaganda saying everything is fine in Dubai. What a pathological liar and grifter. Even Sneeko, right, the new top G, unfortunately for Andrew Tate, he was dethroned as the top G, right, the top G. If G means, G might mean grifter, I'm not sure, G might mean grifter, so let's be careful. But Sneeko might be the new top G. But even he's calling out Andrew Tate, basically saying he had the dumbest take of all time, giant publicity stunt, basically cap him that Dubai was saying he wasn't even there.
The war's over in 24 hours. Dubai, the most party geopolitical takes I've ever seen. And it's because he thinks that reading is gay. Just talk about Bugattis and yachts because you get everything wrong. Iran struck Dubai to get publicity on the war. It's all a stage. Andrew Tate legitimately thinks that Iran struck the U.S. military bases in Dubai to get publicity on the war. Do you understand how stupid that is? And the fact that you guys are going to let him get away with pushing that, and then people like Neon see it and believe it. I saw Tate said the war's over in 24 hours. Okay, where are we now? It's day 3. Also, that he thinks that Iran is clout chasing Dubai by bombing them. He said that 2 days ago on his stream. Nobody says that's stupid. Read books, watch lectures, take notes.
Andrew Tate's mask is really slipping because it just goes to show you how little he knows and how willing he is to say absolutely anything. These are the same, and I'm going to leave, I could go at Sneeko for this, but I'm not going to. But these are the same guys that told you, don't believe your government when they want to get you vaccinated and COVID and they want you to wear masks. Don't wear the mask. Don't believe the government. It's nonsense. They're telling you Dubai's safe. They're telling you you're protected by the sheikhs of Dubai. Nothing's wrong. It's a great place to be. I'm not there. It is nonsense. So Sneeko actually did have another good take on this as well. I'll show it to you here. But basically, it's kind of just what I just said to you, basically. Like, Andrew Tate telling everybody that Dubai's safe, listen to the government. Your whole thing is about escaping the matrix. You're telling people to listen to the government. And you lot were telling people not to wear masks and not get vaccinated a minute ago. Now you don't get vaccinated, right? Because it's dangerous for your health, for your mind. But get a drone to fucking blow up be blown to smithereens by a drone. It's a joke. The mask is slipped. No one will take these people seriously ever again.
Disconnect about Dubai.
This nigga's still talking about Dubai.
The people who do not live there cannot imagine how amazing.
Nigga, you live in Romania. You're in Bucharest.
It feels to know that your government cares about you. The government wants you to be there. The government wants you to be happy.
Nigga, how is your whole brand about escaping the matrix and then you need to listen to the government of the UAE? Escape the matrix and listen to the UAE government.
The government wants you to prosper. The government's not trying to take your money or rape you or ignore everything you say. They want you to like the place and they want you to stay. That is
Bro, is Britain first, America first, and now UAE first. What are we doing?
I really believe in other profit and insult the
That's not true. That's not true. I saw a tweet from Hamid.
Alright, look, I can't have him say the N-word again, but you get the gist. Our guy Samuel Leeds, he's doing coke as well. He's saying Dubai is safe anyway. We just had to get back to pre-arranged business. But if you have the money, getting a jet out of Dubai isn't a problem. Don't believe everything you see in the media. I'm a global citizen with multiple residences and bank accounts. I have true freedom to be anywhere at any time. And I just decided to exercise my freedom right now to get the fuck out of Dubai. Get me out of there. The two more pretty embarrassing things I'm going to show you about Dubai. I can't guarantee the authenticity of this next few pieces of information, but these are interesting theories to look at. People say, am I the only one who noticed the lack of video from Dubai in the last 2-3 days? Well, there was basically, it was being said, think before you share. Spreading rumours is a crime, penalty of 200,000 dirhams, no less. Right? And they'll imprison you for no less than 2 years for spreading misinformation. Alright? Spreading rumours! Oh shit! Are those, is it a rumour that the US consulate has been directly hit? Is that a rumour? Now this is a rumour as well, and they'll throw me in jail for telling you this in Dubai. And I don't know if this is true, right? I don't know if this is totally true, okay? There's a rumour, an illegal rumour, right? And I'm not saying this is true. I'm not spreading, I'm spreading this rumour. I'm spreading this rumour. I won't be going to Dubai anytime soon. But even though it's safe, I won't be going there anytime soon. But I can tell you this, right? Because I'm not in Dubai, I'm in the West, I'm in the Great West, okay, paying my taxes, paying through the nose in taxes. The thousands and thousands I paid in taxes, it was a lot, allows me to tell you this. You can't say this in Dubai, alright? Sorry, bouncer, sorry all you Dubai influencers, you can't say this. You'll get thrown in jail for probably even watching this. Because several media outlets, and there's a rumour that the UAE President, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has fled Dubai and travelled to Liechtenstein seeking protection. If confirmed, this would mark a dramatic and unprecedented development in the region. I'm not actually sure this is true, I'll be honest with you, okay? I'm just spreading a rumour. I paid my taxes, I can spread these rumours, I can do this. But I actually personally am not sure if I believe this is true. We did see him at the shopping mall yesterday, okay, having a coffee. But I don't know, okay? They'll throw me in jail for that, so I won't be going to Dubai ever again. That's fine. But this is just a really funny, interesting roast of Andrew Tate that I wanted to read you guys in light of his recent buffoonery. It says, chrome-domed traffic king posted about Dubai trips while literally chained to a Romanian house like some discount ankle monitor influencer. This bald fuck can't even leave his driveway without permission, but he's still flexing about international travel plans. He built his empire convincing desperate women he loved them, then pimping them out on webcam, bragged about his loverboy method like it was some genius business strategy, moved to Romania specifically because he thought their R-word laws were weaker. And he said this out loud on podcasts like a complete psychopath. His face looks like someone carved a mannequin head with a butter knife and then gave up halfway through. Sold millions in fake alpha courses to basement virgins while getting his Bugattis repoed by Romanian cops for human trafficking. His brother Twiston got swept up in the same charges because apparently stupidity runs in the family bloodline. He converted to Islam whenever it was convenient for his grift, about as authentic as his rented Lamborghinis. Now, I don't think he rents his Lamborghinis. I think he's got real money from doing horrible things. But anyway, now he's tweeting tough guy shit from house arrest while his alleged victims testify against him in court. Dead shark eyes that have never seen a woman genuinely smile in his presence. Just flinch, the ultimate keyboard warrior who literally could not leave his keyboard because the state won't let him. Alright? Why is he not in Dubai? Why is he not in Dubai? But he's actually in Dubai. Your post has misleading information. Right. Let's not. Okay? People saying reports from Dubai confirm that the banks in the UAE have completely shut down. Only cash is in circulation. They'll throw me in jail for even looking at this tweet. But my taxes are paid in full, baby. Paid in full. The culprit is Iran's precision strikes on data centers. Among the affected facilities are Amazon Web Services data centers in the ME Central region, UAE, including zones Middle East C1, AZ2, MEC1, and AZ3. Oh dear, alright? I don't know if those are rumours, but I can spread that because I'm not in a dystopian echo. They must be really getting bad right now. Polymarket reporting the UAE has outlawed photographing or sharing sensitive security sites for promoting unreliable or fabricated information. Uh-oh. Okay, big uh-oh. Now, there's basically news going around on ABC News. Let's react to this together. But they're basically saying multiple US embassies and consulates are being hit by Iran. Thousands of Americans are trapped in the Middle East. And it is really, really getting...
Our lawyers said we couldn't name this new Carl's Jr. burger the biggest burger for the smallest price burger. So we did Cali Exile. Charging more for half the meat? Not loving that. Get it now for a limited time. Only at Carl's Jr.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone. Tiger was training a dress rehearsal for D-Day. They walked right into it. One mistake. It's not my mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done.
Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here's the express request for generalized.
Do it.
Shaky out.
We begin tonight here with the breaking news in the war in Iran. Tonight, U.S. embassies and consulates coming under attack and Americans stranded across the region. Late today, a drone strike reported near the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The drone coming down in a parking lot, fire breaking out. Just hours earlier, 2 drones hitting the U.S. embassy in Saudi Arabia. At least 6 embassies in the region now closed tonight. And this evening, 24 hours after the State Department urged all Americans to leave the Middle East, Secretary of State Marco Rubio late today saying they're now preparing military flights, charter flights, even coming up with land routes for Americans to try to get to other countries to try to get out. And tonight, with Iran essentially shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, where so much of the world's oil passes through, President Trump is now saying he will call on the U.S. Navy to escort ships through if necessary. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off from the region again tonight.
Tonight, U.S. embassies and consulates under attack from Iran. With U.S. citizens trapped in the war-torn region. The State Department now scrambling to secure military aircraft and charter planes to get them out, after telling Americans in 14 countries to evacuate. Tonight, video verified by ABC News shows an Iranian drone slamming into the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The explosion and fire in a parking lot next to the consulate. The U.S. embassy in Amman, Jordan, also targeted. And drone strikes shutting down the U.S. embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Officials say so far no one's been injured in these strikes. And tonight, with Americans stranded across the Middle East, our Karen Travers asking President Trump, was there not a plan for this before attacking Iran?
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly.
Later today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the plan to get Americans out.
And it'll be a variety of methods: charter flights, military flights and transports, expanded commercial opportunities, and in some cases land routes that will allow them to go to neighboring countries who might have open airports at that point.
Tonight, the president saying he was, quote, surprised by the scope of Iran's retaliation across the region, even though Iran had clearly warned how it would respond.
I was surprised, I think, and now those countries are all fighting against them and fighting strongly against them.
Tonight, Iran effectively shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil flows, sending oil and gas prices up already. Tonight, President Trump saying, if necessary, the US Navy will provide escorts for ships in the Strait of Hormuz. As US and Israel launching another wave of strikes on Iran. More than 700 Iranians killed, according to the Red Crescent. Today, there was a mass burial for the victims of the school attack, which left more than 160 dead. The Pentagon yet to explain what's happened. And Israel saying it struck an area in Qom where Iran's Interim Leadership Council was meeting to appoint a new supreme leader. Tonight, verified videos online showing the area where those meetings were allegedly being held reduced to rubble, but Iran denying they were meeting there. Trump has who will lead Iran next.
Most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group, they may be dead also, based on reports.
The president was asked what the worst case would be for Iran's next leader.
The worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen.
Tonight, the Pentagon identifying 4 of the 6 service members killed after that Iranian strike in Kuwait on a US tactical operations center. US officials tell ABC News that facility did not have adequate defenses, making them vulnerable to aerial attacks. And after 3 US F-15 fighter jets were shot down over Kuwait by friendly fire, one of them seen spiraling to the ground. Remarkable video, verified by ABC News circulating online, shows the tense moments as locals confront one of the downed American pilots, approaching one with a pipe. His parachute still attached. That pilot putting his hands up and kneeling before the men realized he was an American. And this video showing Kuwaitis finding another one of those pilots after she's safely ejected too. David, amid this scramble to get Americans out, the State Department telling people to call a hotline. When you dial the number, an automated message saying, do not rely on the US government for evacuation at this time. David?
Wow, there is an intense...
So look, Dubai cooked. It's cooked. It's actually over with, okay? People are... Embassies getting blown up, consulates getting blown up. There's no end in sight. I wonder what's going to happen now. I might do a more detailed video for you guys tomorrow where I might break down actually some of what's going to happen. I'm not ready to point the finger and say this was wrong, that was wrong. I'm still getting my head around this situation. Maybe it was. Maybe killing the leader of Iran in non-stop drone strikes and everyone that could have replaced him and his replacement. I don't say it was a bad idea. Might not have been a good idea. But also, at the end of the day, Iran are the ones that are sending these bombs, right? Yep. They did get smacked bang in the face, but they were trying to develop nuclear weapons. They were doing some bad stuff, but actions have reactions. It is very, very scary, okay? So look, Andrew Tate, he's apparently hot-tailing it to Dubai. Hopefully he makes it over there. Hopefully, all right? He said, I've seen with another tweet saying nobody's ever blown up a Bugatti or a Pagani, whatever they call those stupid $5 million cars that nobody needs. No one's ever blown... We hope... Maybe the first Pagani drone strike might happen. The Iranians do have a chance to do something very funny here, all right? And so look, if that happens, I will keep you guys posted. It is crazy, it is wild, grift continues, and we just got to pray for the influencers in Dubai, man. We've got to pray for those folks, okay? And yeah, hopefully I don't get arrested for this video for spreading rumours, all right? But anyway, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. I'm going to have way more videos for you guys tomorrow. I'm back from a trip. It's been very interesting. I'll tell you all about it probably in a week. I'm going to surprise you, okay? I'm going to surprise you. I'll surprise you. All right? But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Feels good to be back. Until next time, guys, I'm out.
For 102 years, we have been burning the man. We call it Zuzuka. Putting the past behind us and starting fresh.
sorts of pretty and weak. Beasts who think themselves men. Not just what it means to be a creature. Remember who you are and let it gauge your power. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
Trapmore Gang, in the Epstein files, there have been some very, very disturbing references to the various methods that Jeffrey Epstein was using to procure kids. Now, there's apparently been some connections made to what appears to be some kind of adoption agency, and these links are very, very disturbing. I'm going to break it all down to you in this video. One of the people whose names has come up frequently, all right, in the Epstein files is Susan Hamblin, okay? Now, just recently, okay, Representative Anna Luna basically revealed that Susan Hamlin was actually the very individual who sent this disturbing email. It said, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." Now, she's revealed and basically said, Susan Hamblin sent this email. She took a plea deal and was given victim status under previous Department of Justice. Department of Justice should look into charges. Possible human rights violations were committed by Susan. I say that based on other files with her name on it. These women don't get to hide behind redaction. There were so many victims, none of which did what Susan did. This needs to be reopened. So you said need to reopen them files. Now, Susan also referred to a Sue in some...
The Nintendo World Championships NES Edition released in July and offers timed challenges in classic NES games where players compete against each other on online leaderboards. The game immediately caught the attention of speedrunners who had been breaking these games for over a decade, as their hard-earned skills could be used to dominate the leaderboards. Unfortunately, after a few weeks of what appeared to be fair competition, records started getting set that didn't just beat the established speedrun strategies, but tied or came close to tying the tool-assisted speedruns, putting these times a head and shoulders above the rest. Today we'll be looking at the runs suspected of cheating, seeing how they could have possibly been performed, and answering the question of if there are cheaters on the leaderboards. So let's start with the different game modes. There are 3 different ways you can play Nintendo World Championships, or NWC. Speedrun mode, where your goal is to beat challenges as fast as possible and serves as a single-player mode where earning coins lets you unlock more challenges. Survival mode, where you compete against the ghosts of other players across 3 rounds, with half the players being eliminated each time until one person wins. And World Championship mode, where players compete in online leaderboards to complete 5 challenges as fast as possible, with the challenges changing weekly. World Championship mode is what we'll be focusing on, as its leaderboards are where the suspicious runs appeared, and the first challenge we'll be looking at is Fireball Rush from Kirby's Adventure. When I was first made aware of the suspected runs, I created a list of the best times on speedrun.com for several challenges and compared them to the best times on Nintendo's official servers. Some of them were tied, some were beaten by a few frames, and others were beaten by 1 to 2 seconds, which is a huge amount of time in this context. And the Fireball Rush time on Nintendo's servers was almost a full second ahead of the verified time on speedrun.com. In this challenge, your goal is to reach the end of the stage as fast as possible, but it's filled with obstacles, enemies, and damage hazards, which makes Kirby's health bar a resource to be used when routing, as damage boosting is a viable strategy. When Kirby takes damage from spikes, some of his forward momentum will be preserved, and players can use this to get over hazards faster, but since they only have 6 health points, they can only do this 5 times in any given run. In Vim's run seen here, you'll notice that at the beginning, he needs to break through 3 sets of blocks to reach the spikes, and opts to slide tackle all 3. This is a slow attack with a long recovery, and a Japanese runner named Mikun finished a run that beat Vim's route by almost a full second. The reason it's so much faster is because Mikun developed a strategy that avoids doing the 3rd slide and instead swallows the brick and preserves momentum, allowing him to keep moving and dash earlier, which accounts for the time save. This example shows that just because a time is faster doesn't mean that cheating is always the reason why. Sometimes, people do find faster strategies or ways of doing things, but what about when someone's execution appears to be too good? But
6, drumsticks, Atlantic 7.
Cover your week for less. It's an oldie thing.
You know about this baseball. Here, teammates become opponents. And stadiums become orchestras. Expect everything.
before we get to that, we need to learn about this video's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in AI, math, programming, and data analysis. Brilliant uses a first principles approach with hands-on problem solving where you interact with concepts as you go, a method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. By focusing on problem solving, Brilliant helps build critical thinking skills instead of having you memorize information, helping you become a better thinker. On top of this, you don't need to spend hours a day learning, as the fun lessons can be completed in a matter of minutes when you can fit them into your schedule. One of my favorite courses is the one on large language models, as it shows you how they build vocabulary, why training data is important, and how to tune them for different types of outputs. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Abasoft or click the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. And with that, let's get back to what happens when someone's run is suspected of being too good. In the challenge Leap to the Peak, the objective is to jump to the top of a series of platforms as fast as possible, with top times coming in around the 4-second mark. However, SMB2 doesn't have a double jump mechanic. If you jump in the air, you can't jump again until you've become grounded, which should make this challenge a lot longer, but there is an exploit. If you barely touch an enemy while you're jumping, the game will give you another jump while in the air. So by jumping at angles that send you partially into the enemy, you can jump again before touching the ground, which allows for a huge time save. Due to this challenge's short length, the difficulty comes in optimization, as while there have been challenges that players have tied the task time on due to their short duration or simplicity of inputs, this record set by Mander was scrutinized by players for a few reasons. The first was how fast he achieved the time, as on August 16th, he set a 385, then got a 378 later the same day. He went on to improve this 3 more times to arrive at a 371, with a total of 19 hours having passed from when he first set the 385. To some runners, his improvement was a little suspicious, but admittedly wasn't impossible. However, this wasn't the only record he had posted that aroused suspicions. In an earlier challenge for Metroid, where you need to platform up to the top of a cavern, Mander posted an insane time that was a full second faster than the record on speedrun.com. Over the course of 3 days, he started with a 22:36 and improved it to an 18:70 flat. But if you compare his fastest run to the fastest on speedrun.com, you'll see that he saves half a second by damage boosting through the second enemy and then has better execution throughout the map, performing most of the jumps frame perfect or with only a frame or 2 of delay. If someone is spending a lot of time grinding a single challenge, this isn't outside the realm of possibility, and Mander posted a screenshot of his times in other challenges for the week when they released, and while they were good, they weren't the fastest, with the only time he posted updates on being the Metroid challenge, suggesting he focused on that one exclusively. On top of this, nobody could put forward a plausible theory on why his runs weren't legit, with some of the suspicion coming from the fact that Mander had been caught cheating over a decade ago in Mario Kart Wii. We'll come back to these runs later, because there is consensus that the next 2 challenges we're looking at have something fishy going on. Goodbye Guma and Nayslayer are 2 enemy fighting challenges from Zelda 2, with top times coming in at just over 5 and 8 seconds. But as soon as these challenges became active, times started appearing out of nowhere that were significantly faster. Unlike the other runs we looked at, these challenges didn't have new strategies being discovered. Instead, the execution was on the level of a task. While some of the platforming in the previous challenges was frame perfect, this is to be expected, as pressing a single button on a specific frame is possible, as lots of games have frame perfect tricks, but the strategy being used in the Zelda challenges was very different. For the typical strategy, runners get 2 hits per cycle by jumping and attacking on the way up, then attacking again on the way down, with this being a very reliable method of killing the bosses in as few cycles as possible, but the faster strategy was nothing like this. It had Link jump, perform a sword attack, then switch directions while the animation is playing out, which registers multiple hits on the enemy. This is because when you attack with the sword, there's a frame window where once it makes contact with an enemy, it won't register another hit. But if you turn away, then turn back while the animation is still playing, you'll get another hit, as the game treats this as a new sword swing. Since the sword attacks animation is 5 frames long, this lets you get a maximum of 3 hits per jump if you can alternate the D-pad frame perfectly during the animation window, which kills the enemy a full cycle faster than the non-tool assisted strategy. If we look at the week these challenges were released, we see that the first day they became active, times started appearing that were getting frame perfect D-pad inputs, something only thought possible in a TAS. Runners immediately started wondering how players were achieving these records, and it's time we looked at possible ways to cheat on the Nintendo Switch.
A fragment of the Earth's oldest dream, it lay there, while oceans move and forests rise. Still, it lay there, pressed by gravity, kissed by fire. This is not an object. It is a witness to time, to beauty, to love.
Trying to make a TAS on the Switch isn't an easy thing to accomplish, but there are a variety of ways to go about doing it, so let's start with some of the earliest methods that appeared. 2 of the first ways to create TASes were TAScript and SweeTAS. In the case of SweeTAS, it's software that runs on your PC and Switch, where you create the inputs you want for a particular game and then send them to your Nintendo Switch. Once the TAS is on your console, you can then edit the inputs further using your controller or the interface the software provides before running it. TAScript, on the other hand, is a software that runs fully on your Switch that creates a virtual controller you can create inputs for with scripts by overriding the inputs being sent from a physical controller, and it has been used to create some TASes. However, both of these methods have problems that makes their use unlikely for cheating in NWC. Neither of these tools have been updated in 4 years, and the Switch has new firmware installed by default unless you turn that feature off. So if someone were using these tools, their Switch would need to be using older firmware, or they'd have to do the work of updating the source code of the tools themselves. Given that this is a new game, it's likely the case that these tools weren't used, as the TASing community shifted away from TASing on the Switch itself in favor of emulation-based TASing, such as the Yuzu emulator, a popular tool that was used for creating TASes for Switch games. I say was because it was DMCA'd, so I won't be showing images or videos of it in this video. But in addition to giving TASers powerful features such as frame advance, it also had some functionality for online play. Given that NWC uses online leaderboards, you'd think the Yuzu emulator would be a good fit for cheating runs. But unfortunately, it has problems that are hard to overcome. First, since the emulator was DMCA'd, it's incredibly hard to find. And second, connecting to the official Nintendo servers from an emulator is a very difficult task, as you won't have the proper authentication credentials to interact with the server since you're not using official hardware. This hasn't stopped people from hacking runs in Mario Maker 2, however, since by using a memory editor, it's possible to edit your completion time to something impossible and send it to the servers. However, this won't create a valid replay, as Nintendo has security in place to check runs that don't match the inputs. For NWC, this likely wouldn't work either, as you're only editing the final time and not creating a replay. And since the suspicious runs all had replays, it's likely not what was used. The only way something like this would work would be to reverse engineer the data that gets sent to the servers for a replay and then edit it for the time you want. But the sources I spoke to said they've never heard of someone being successful with this method. Additionally, since the Yuzu emulator was DMCA'd, it would be a huge legal risk to anyone using it to try and cheat, especially if they had found a way to make it interact with Nintendo's servers. But there is a method that gets around the server problem, and that's hardware TASes. These methods are where a piece of hardware, such as an Arduino, are used to feed inputs to the console. If you remember my video on Mario Maker 1, there was a level where the creator used an Arduino to feed inputs to the game so that his incredibly difficult level could be cleared and uploaded to the servers, so this method does have precedent. When it comes to the Switch, there have been multiple Arduino setups that allow you to interface with a controller. Switch Input Emulator, for instance, allows you to send inputs from a PC to a wireless controller and have them fed into the console from there, and Arduino TAS does much of the same thing. However, one disadvantage that hardware-based methods have are desyncs that cause the TAS to run incorrectly. The emulators and software we discussed previously don't have this problem since they can read console data to help see when the next frame is occurring, but hardware TASes don't have this ability, so they suffer from desyncs. Arduino TAS tries to mitigate this problem by connecting to the vsync output of the console, which decreases the amount of desyncs it gets from multiple per second to about 1 every 20 seconds. So for shorter runs, this could be a viable solution if you run lots of attempts. But while plausible, I don't think this was used for reasons we're about to get into. One criticism I get when making these videos is that I'm showing people how to cheat, but there are a few reasons I think that's not true. The biggest being that everything I've told you can be found online easily. In fact, Wikipedia has articles about some of the emulators with TAS functionality we've already looked at. So someone that wants to cheat doesn't have to try very hard to find ways to do it. And in this case, none of the methods I first investigated were how the Zelda runs were cheated. In fact, the truth was staring everyone in the face the entire time. One thing that made some of these runs hard to analyze was that they were uploaded in 30 frames per second while the game runs at 60 frames per second. This meant if someone were doing inputs too fast for a human or were playing a task, you couldn't make a definitive analysis since you only had half of the frames with no way of telling what was happening on the missing frames. Fortunately, Mander was uploading the record for every challenge in 60 FPS, so we could see what those players were doing frame by frame. And to be clear, most of the runs on Mander's channel were performed by other players. Only a few were performed by Mander himself. He was just uploading the best times for each challenge. So with access to all of the frame data, the question was, how do you mash the D-pad fast enough to get those inputs? In some games, it is possible to reach very high mashing speeds, such as in Tetris with the rolling grip, where it's not uncommon to reach over 20 button presses a second. However, it's unlikely the rolling grip was being used on the Switch, given that the controller layout is different, the buttons require different pressures to register an input, and you still need a hand to control Link. But there is something that lets you mash incredibly fast, and that's a turbo controller. Turbo controllers allow you to press a button at very fast rates, and they do exist for the Switch, with the Hori pad being one that lets you not only pick what button you want to set the turbo function on, but also lets you set varying rates at which the button will be pressed. This would explain how the Zelda runs were being performed, since by binding turbo to a D-pad direction, you could hold the joystick in the opposite direction and get a frame-perfect alternation of button presses, as the game doesn't allow for left and right inputs at the same time and will alternate instead. But proving this is what is happening is another matter entirely. Nintendo does have features in place that stop you from using glitches that are famous in these games, like wall clipping in Super Mario Bros. And it wasn't known if turbo would get around this detection. But if we look at the Japanese scene for NWC, we'll get our answer. Hirohiko is a TASer from multiple games and was the person that discovered the hot plate glitch in Dragon Quest III. And on July 23rd, he noticed there was a challenge in the speedrun mode that could benefit from using turbo. Firefight for Zelda 2. To perform this challenge, you need to downstab while in the air, but you can't hold down to get the fastest time. Instead, you need to release the button and press it again to register hits quickly. Otherwise, you get a small bounce where you won't register damage. Hirohiko discovered that using a turbo controller, you could perform this technique perfectly, so he ran a poll asking what should be done if a challenge where turbo is useful was posted to the World Championship mode. But we wouldn't have to wait long to get an answer, because a few weeks later, one such challenge got posted. The Goodbye Guma challenge we looked at earlier was included in the weekly release for World Championships mode, and a user posted to Twitter asking how to get double hits, so Hirohiko explained how they work and that they were a task strat, then realized it was time to run another poll. This time, his followers voted to see what happened if a run using Turbo was uploaded to the worldwide leaderboards, as no one knew if Nintendo had put measures in place that would detect it. So Pirohiko used Turbo in a run, and to his surprise, it was accepted. His run was a 485, and looking at Mander's channel, it was indeed Pirohiko's run that was featured for the week. And in the interest of being transparent, he posted the controller he tested the theory on, with it being the HoriPad, an officially licensed product by Nintendo. This raises the question of if this is even cheating, but 28% of voters in Pirohiko's poll responded that this is a feature you could use on the original Famicom. However, Mander points out that he couldn't recall an NES controller that allowed for rapid fire on a D-pad button. I spoke to Pirohiko using Google Translate and asked why he decided to test using Turbo on the leaderboards, and he said he was surprised that one of the Donkey Kong challenges allowed players to use a glitch. So he used Turbo once to see if there were checks in place that stopped the run from getting uploaded, and that he thought even if he didn't do this, someone else would, so he wanted to do it publicly so the community would know it was possible. I also asked about the attitude towards Turbo in Japan, and he said that in Japan, players had been using Turbo to clear text in RPGs for a long time, and that it became normalized. But when it comes to other games, it's more common for its use to be determined in a case-by-case basis. So even in Japan, it seems like using Turbo for NWC is frowned upon, but unfortunately, this doesn't stop people from using it on the leaderboards. Earlier in the video, I said the evidence for this was staring everyone in the face all along. And if you look at the description from Mander's uploads of the Zelda challenges, you'll see that he states they were achieved using rapid fire, which is what they call Turbo in Japan. This is because Mander had been following Pirohiko's Twitter, so he knew how those records were achieved. And shoutouts to Link Enfant for sharing this news with the community when it first broke, since many runners in the West don't follow the Japanese runners on Twitter. In an even crazier twist of events, I spoke to Mario speedrunner Cosmic while making this video, and when he first started playing NWC, he tried to see if the game would let him do left and right inputs at the same time. While the game didn't let him press both directions at once, he did find that by holding the stick one way and pressing the other direction on the D-pad, he could get decent alternating inputs. When I told Cosmic how Turbo was being used, he theorized he could achieve the same result by rebinding a directional button to two different keys, then flicking them while holding the stick in the opposite direction, and it did allow for almost perfect alternation. After discussing this with Vim, he took it a step further and used an elastic to keep the stick held, which freed up his hand to then alternate the buttons, achieving much the same effect. And given enough attempts, it's thought that these techniques could come close or match the times being set with a Turbo controller, so let me know what you think about all of this down below. This leads us with the runs done by Mander that people were suspicious of. As it stands, these runs are legit, as they don't use Turbo, and there's no evidence he created or modified existing tools to perform them. In fact, for lots of his runs, he posted progress updates as he improved his time, which isn't typical behavior for someone using a TAS. One of the reasons people are so suspicious of his times is because he was caught using rapid fire in Mario Kart Wii over a decade ago. And if you want to learn more about that, check out this video I made. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and huge thanks to the Great Rambler and Monster Druid 1 for help with this video, and I'll see you next time.
Saturday, March 7th. Two legends. I'm right here. One legacy.
The phase BMF belt is on the line.
Holloway versus Oliveira with the BMF title. Saturday, March 7th on Paramount Plus.
Has been used to ejaculate prematurely until this.
You know you don't have to come all the way to the pharmacy to get your script, right? There's more of an option.
So, what is it?
Here, just pull up this online intake form on your phone.
Oh, him.
It's through him.
Why my husband was prescribed this multi-benefit pill. Early climax issues. The night would often end before it began. 2. Erection issues. As he got older, he had a harder time keeping it up. 3. Privacy. He researched online and found a multi-benefit option that's 100% online, discreet and fully personalized.
I, 34 female, have been married to my husband for 6 years. Recently, he started losing interest in sex. I tried everything. Maybe he's just anxious.
First of all, this is way more common than you think. Well, she's blaming herself, right? But maybe her man is having some performance anxiety.
Good point.
A lot of men are actually struggling with ED, premature climax, back, stuff like that. The good news is that it's treatable. Have you heard of him?
Okay, so my older husband kept seeing these ads from him, but he was always too embarrassed to click the links. But then my best friend told me her husband struggles with premature ejaculation. XRX plus Climax.
Shakes are a great option to keep you gaming, as the total prep time can be completed between game lobbies. And if you don't believe me, check out this Cinnamon Toast speedrun. The ease of assembly isn't the only thing that makes the shakes convenient. With 23 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber, and only a single gram of sugar, it helps keep you full for hours. If you're not feeling like a full meal, but still need something that will fit your macros, the protein cookies with real chunks of chocolate and Oreo pieces help get the job done. A new world record, and I didn't use a single skip. So if you're ready to up your nutrition game, go to drinkcontrol.com/Abisoft and use code Abisoft to get 10% off your order. And if you're having trouble deciding what you want, use the bundle builder and try all of their different products at a discount. And with that, let's get into the video. This task was created by Drew Weatherton in 2016. He plays on the fastest game mode, 150 cc's. This turns on special abilities for the CPU players that factor in, as we'll see later. And before we get to the first track, there are a few minor time saves already at work. Time passes, people move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind turns to noble ambition, and I'll keep exploring bizarre rabbit holes in video games. Back in the mid-2000s, Thomas Bolton was the undisputed king of Mario Kart DS, holding multiple world records, the champion distinction, and being virtually untouchable in online play. In 2007, that would change, however, as a relatively unknown player named NTT West Japan would challenge Thomas to a match across all 20 online tracks, where he decisively beat the champion, and then disappeared from the community. A year later, he resurfaced, and Thomas challenged him to another match, but NT didn't seem to have the competitive edge he had before, with Thomas winning handily, but some players had suspicions that NT was cheating. And if we go a bit deeper, we see evidence that suggests this NT wasn't the one Thomas faced back in 2007. Today we'll be exploring the unsolved controversy that rocked the Mario Kart DS community and try to figure out if NT was a skilled player, a cheater, or multiple people assuming an identity, and what this fake Rainbow Road world record has to do with it all. Get your mining goggles on, this rabbit hole is deep.
The one who got the most toys wins!
Fear.
Stop this at once. I take no pleasure in harming one of my own, but if you persist, One death is not inconceivable. You will pay for this! I plan for every contingency. You... No! Do not fail me. Not now! How could this happen?
Your people cannot be saved. History is already written. You can stay here and die, or come with us and help save the future.
The legacy of the Val must be protected. I do know of a way to contain the beast.
Best you start talking then. My friend here isn't exactly the peacemaking type.
If only I had more time. There is an ancient weapon. A weapon that was used against corruption from a civilization lost to the ages. I have one piece of it. 3 others were scattered. I've been searching for them, but they couldn't. But I will come
It's
to...
settled.
Now then, it is time we departed.
But
activate the portal.
I am willing to
We will
listen.
see about it.
What is happening?
It begins.
What can we do? Help me get us through the gate!
I can't for that to go.
Oh, well.
He retains one.
Well then, the port town from there, we've quite... Great. We can leave whenever. Until next time.
Time is short. Make haste.
Hello. It's a long journey, the Kalgurans.
Doriani has one piece of an ancient weapon that can control corruption. The other 3 pieces lie somewhere in the countless islands of the Karui archipelago. But they're
We've arrived. I must have drifted off.
Hey, wait a minute. Come back. Hello.
This?
So,
you will need a
please.
Just the friend you mentioned.
Ah, this is my Rog, and it just
My
so...
path on...
I'll set up an account.
I suppose it's... I'm off to... Do be careful out there.
Come visit my shop sometime.
Welcome.
Yes.
Just before. See,
Yes.
I like the car.
If this
If anyone,
file easy.
if you can keep it up.
Hail.
Oh,
Faustus,
you died of. He left. But when he both, you never. But I could tell.
Perhaps he saw.
I believe. I asked him once, what happened to you? He looked me dead. He was He said no. Under his. I heard he. All very strange. I'll post it right away. Hail. I'll fill that in as soon. Oh, it's you.
Welcome aboard.
I have a charter.
Signifer. We can take your business as your. Full sail. Lower the anchor.
Let's go. We made it. I left Nakanu before I was even old enough to run the Isle of Shrikes. But all right.
Good night!
I follow in the footsteps of countless Karui warriors.
From there, Talakura.
Fred Hutley, you have this.
Oh, you this is my shop. Rogue's Rarities. Please,
Yes, where to? Batten down the hatches! We made it.
And the King's March to... Patient.
The storm rages, yet something darker waits within. Many speak of justice, few truly live it. A key. This could prove useful. Good night! all these people left here to die. Good night! Faith should be a refuge. This became a tomb.
The heart unlocks compassion. Compassion is the first step toward redemption.
The Eternals left these prisoners to drown. Is there no limit to their cruelty?